This is me from the future. I listened back to my recording and there are a few pops in it, so I just wanted to warn you of that first. So, on to the video. Leading up to my first time DMing, I think I watched every single one of the running the game videos that Matt Colville made. I just didn't want to be lacking in anything. There's like over 100 videos that he has in that playlist now, and I watched just hours upon hours because I didn't want to be lacking in anything. I didn't want to be caught off guard or made uncomfortable because I was new. And I think I started to take the same approach with solo role playing. Even though I've had years of experience DMing, it felt daunting. It felt really big. So I looked up every video that I could on it, and I didn't watch nearly as much. I felt more prepared for it, but I still would sit in my car and listen to them like they were podcasts, or just in my free time, try to catch as much information as I could. When in reality, I have pretty much all the DMing tools that I need, but this felt different because I was alone. And in reality, I had everything that I needed and more. So in this video, what I'm going to talk about is what I believe you need to start solo role playing. And bear in mind, the short time that I've been playing and that I actually use a few more things that I'm going to list in this, I'll probably make a video showing all the things I use at this point so I can look back on it later and think, wow, I really over relied on this one thing, or man, I can't believe I wasn't using that. But anyway, through my play, I've really seen what's essential and then what's like nice to have, like a good bonus. So the list of things that I'm going to be talking through today are you need a rule system, which includes the dice, books, or characters, or single character, whatever you're doing. You need an oracle, you need random tables and prompts, you need a way to track what's going on, and then you need just time set aside for it. There are some extras as well. I think like pre-made maps are really helpful, or just something that you can map out on, and then journals in general. But then at the end, I'm actually going to propose what I think you could use. That's even less. Sorry, I blanked there. But I think you can use like even less stuff if you don't have those things. If things are holding you back, I think that you can make it by with a whole lot less. So let's get into it. I think the first thing that you're going to need is a rule system. I think that this one's important because it sets the tone for the adventure that you're about to play in. It's probably one of the things that that can be the most costly at the beginning. Likely you have dice already, you probably have something else, but there may be something that you want to play. Granted, you may already have some of these things just sitting on your shelf. Like I backed this forever ago and never ended up playing it, but it seems really nice because another thing I think is important about the rule system is that it is lighter, so you don't have to deal with something really bulky. Like I really like D&D, but I feel like the character sheets are a lot larger. You have a lot more things to track. Like my Solodark characters all just fit right here. And I'm sure there's ways that you can make it simpler, but it's really important that you have something that you're interested in, and something that if you want to play something involving superheroes, you probably shouldn't play Solodark. But you can do with the rule system whatever you want, and it's your game, so you can have superheroes in Solodark, I guess, if you want. But there is some other cheap stuff out there if you, for some reason, or not for some reason, if you don't have a system. I've heard really good things about Whitebox and like Cairn, and they're both pretty cheap on like Amazon, so you can check those out, see if that's something that you're interested in, or just use what you have. And again, I use Solodark. I already owned it, so I didn't have a big price to pay to get involved in the first place. So I really like also the tables and the overland travel. It has a lot of the stuff that you need for solo play just baked into it, so that's pretty nice. If you guys have any suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments for people who are just getting started, and I'm sure that could be helpful. So I will figure out where I'm sliding all of this to. I'll just do this. I think the next thing that you need is an oracle. And so an oracle is like kind of a stand-in for a game master. So there are different oracle systems out there. Some cost money, some are free, and some I've seen people just home make them, and I think that you can do whatever you want. I think that Solodark, which is the free Shadowdark supplement, is what I've been using, and I have really enjoyed it, especially as someone who's just starting out. So I haven't had I didn't want to buy something big just to get started with it, so this is free. And anyway, so an oracle, you ask yes or no questions, and like in this case, 1 to 9 on a d20 is a no, 10 is a twist, 11 to 20 is a yes. If you get an odd, it's a yes but or a no but, and then 1s and 20s are the extremes. But I just find this to be really helpful. It does leave you having to do some improv to really make sense of the roles, but you can ask whatever questions you want, and it keeps you kind of from railroading the story. It's easy to feel like you're going to, like you want them to get this really nice item from a wizard, but you can ask, does this wizard have access to this kind of item? And then you roll, and it could be no, but he knows where he can find an item like that, or he has connections. So I've heard really good things about Mythic Game Master Emulator. So if you're looking to pick up a more robust system, like something that really fleshes things out, I would look into that. I did see it costs a bit, but I've heard, again, really good things, and the PDF is actually pretty cheap from what I saw. So I would check that out. Then I think you need random tables or prompts. I think you can do both. So this has a bunch of tables in here. These are encounter tables. There are plenty of supplements out there that have random tables, but I've even found at the back of the Solodark supplement, these prompts are really cool. So you just roll 2 D100, and so we got 32, and then we've got 78. So 32 is reveal, and 78 is safety. So reveal, safety. So then it's kind of, again, it's improv on you, but you use those words, you put them together, and you can kind of flesh out what's actually going on in the world, and it keeps you from, again, influencing it, and just kind of takes you to places that you wouldn't normally go in your mind. So I've really enjoyed this, but I also really enjoy, like, I love looking at tables that are just packed full of things like, what would you find on the streets of a small town? And then you roll on it, and it says something crazy that's going on. So that's, I think, the third thing that you need are random tables and prompts. I think then you need a way to track what's going on. Obviously, like, we do that on character sheets when we play in games, but I find, like, any piece of paper is going to be useful for you. Like, you can keep as many notes or as few notes as you want, and you don't have to buy something special for this. Like, I'm using an old workout notebook that I gave up on writing things down in, and then I started off my adventure with some questions. I answered them, and then I just started going. You guys can't read anything that's on here, but that's fine. It's for me. my handwriting is very chicken scratch, but I probably write down too much, and you don't have to do that. You can literally just write down in a few words like goblin fight, Jeff shot, and that works. Like whatever you need to track what's going on, just do that. You can record yourself, you can do whatever, but I find that keeping these notes is pretty cool. I did decide to start putting recaps at the end because that's going to make it a lot easier for me as time goes to pick up if I haven't played in a few days. Just like recap. So they left the lightless storm, they stick to road, there's quicksand, it eats up time, they pass through Corwin's hold, they hear rumor of escaped cockatrices belonging to a wizard, they track them down, etc., 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 etc. So that, and then I have this little map. Again, I think that's one of those beneficial extras, but you don't have to. But I went ahead and just mapped out different things, and then I just put what is in those hexes as I discover them. So that's the next thing you need. And then the last thing you need is time. You need to set aside some time. And I think that this is probably the thing that is daunting, because it's just like what you could be doing other things. Like you could be watching a television show, you could be watching YouTube, you could be mowing your yard. I don't know. Do the things that you need to do clearly, and like pay attention to the people that you need to and spend time with them. But if you've got extra time, use it for this. Use it for something that you enjoy doing or you have been interested in doing for a while. And it doesn't have to be anything special. I think you could be on your lunch break in the car just rolling some dice, or in your wide open afternoon you could be playing, or whatever time presents itself. And I think you can have a fun session in like 30 minutes. But by all means, go longer. I mean, it's something that you're investing in yourself here, and you're spending time doing something that you've wanted to do. Presumably, maybe you haven't wanted to and you're just interested in trying it out. But I would just give it a shot. Okay, so I did say that I had an argument for how you can do with even less. So what I'll do is man, I'm moving everything. This is my first time doing a video like this, and I don't have this. People deceive you. You don't actually have as much space as you would think. It's just your hands. Anyway, there's an argument for less, and I think that if you're really itching to play, but the insane list of products and tools is overwhelming out there, I think you could genuinely make do by simply grabbing a sheet of paper or a little notebook, something like this, a pen or a pencil, and then grabbing a coin. I don't have a coin. I should have grabbed a coin, but I have this little Othello piece. And I think you can just ask a question. Is my character a fighter or spellcaster? Heads for fighter, tails for magic. You flip it, it lands on tails. I think white would be tails in this instance. I think black is heads. You can tell me if you think that I'm correct in the comments, or if I'm fake and wrong for suggesting that. But you can just take it like as simple as that. Do they start in a city or in the wilderness? Heads for one, tails for the other. Is there danger on the road? Heads for yes, tails for no. And if you do that enough, you can tell any story. And you may even find that the coin gets used less and less, and you just tell the story that's unfolding for your hero. Again, I think that solo play is just kind of a good way to explore a world and just get out there and just play. So I think when it's all said and done, ultimately we limit ourselves because we think that it has to be done a certain way to count. Like, I have to use this emulator, or I have to use this system because this is what so-and-so is using, and I saw that they have a really long campaign. But I think that you need to quit limiting yourself and just play the game that you are wanting to play, and make it as simple or complex. We'll just point here. I know that there are more complex games out there, but that's what I have is my complex game. just make it as simple or complex as you like. And you're the audience here, so why not entertain yourself? So, thanks for sticking with me. If you did stick to this point, this is my first time making this kind of video. So, I hope that it was helpful or got some ideas spinning in your head. So, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if I missed anything that you think is essential, or if you think that maybe something I suggested could very easily be done without. I think that it's a good place to just talk about something or ask questions. I mean, again, I'm new here. I don't know a lot, but I've enjoyed what I've been learning. And so I'll kind of share in another video what all I use, because like I said, I use a little bit more, but not that much more. And I'll post that, and you guys can check it out if you want to. But before you go, please accept 400 gold. Imagine they're in my hand. 400 gold pieces and 3 XP, and just level up if applicable. And you can, maybe 3 XP is nothing to you, and you spit on it, and that's fine too. But take the gold at least. All right, have a good one.